former President Donald Trump is now breathing a sigh of relief after a judge that he appointed took the unprecedented step in overruling the special master. In fact, Judge Aileen M. Cannon had overruled an order from Special Master Raymond J. Dearie on Thursday, declaring that former President Donald Trump's lawyer must submit to him in writing by September 30th, that would be today, an accounting of all materials seized from Mar-a-Lago. There shall be no separate requirement on plaintiff at this stage prior to the review of any seized materials. Court appointment order did not contemplate that obligation, Cannon wrote in ruling. That order, by the way, from Judge Dearie, I think was a pretty reasonable request. Hey, if you're going to claim that that Mar-a-Lago had been the victim of planting evidence by the FBI, which, by the way, have police, law enforcement ever planted evidence? Yes, they have. So, okay, if you have these allegations, then why don't you prove it by at least, at the very least, telling us what you have? That's it. We're just trying to ask what you have, and if it matches up with the records of the FBI. I mean, real simple to tell, right? Real simple. Now, the order from Dearie, whom Trump's team had requested, they asked for him, had ordered them to submit a declaration or affidavit that includes each of the following factual matters. A list of any specific items set forth in the detailed property inventory that plaintiff asserts were not seized from the premises on August 8th, 2022. Again, Dearie made that request to clarify whether or not Trump and his legal team truly believe that the FBI had literally planted evidence during the raid. Again, they're talking about it. Donald Trump's been making that argument on his,
truth essential,
his platform for months. Here's what he said earlier in this month. They leak, they lie, plant fake evidence, allow the spying on my campaign, deceive the FISA court, raid and break into my home, lose documents. Wait, they lost documents? Really? And then they ask me, as the 45th president of the United States, which you're not. You're no longer president of the United States. Yes, you were the 45th, but you're not president anymore. To trust them, look at the IG reports on Comey, McCabe, and others. Things are safer in the middle of Central Park. Yeah, he says all that stuff, but yet, for some reason, his lawyers don't seem to want to go on the record making that argument in court. Weird. Well, I wonder why that is. Huh? Now, of course, maybe it's because they have to go under oath to make that statement. To make that argument. And perhaps even provide some shred of evidence to back up the idea that we do believe the FBI had planted some evidence against us, and there is this conspiracy. Well, I don't think they have any of that evidence. For one, they had no issue they would have had no issue with Dearie's request had they had the evidence, right? Secondly, Mar-a-Lago, they had security cameras, and yes, those security cameras were momentarily turned off, but then they had requested, hey, we'd like to keep those on. And the FBI granted them that request. So yes, they were allowed to keep the cameras on during the search. So if the FBI planted evidence, the camera footage would have caught that. Wouldn't it have? But they're not making that case in court, and it makes you wonder why. Look, to me, it feels like all the lawsuits during the 2020 election. You remember that, right? You remember that none of them argued that there was massive voter fraud in an election, because then they would have to actually lie under oath and provide evidence. But they don't have evidence, and so they were not taken seriously. A lot of those other cases were about things like process, drop boxes, early voting, things that they believed were unfair. So unfair, but no evidence of mass voter fraud. But let's get to the real issue here, okay? This is the first time that Trump-appointed Judge Cannon had interfered with the work of the special master that she had appointed, with Trump asking for that specific special master. They requested him. Hey, let's take Raymond Dearie. Now, unfortunately for them, he's not doing things the way that Donald Trump wanted to. And so guess what? They called the manager, basically. Trump's team and Trump himself, mail Karen. Call the manager. I don't like this. And again, that's the thing, though. Trump has, through this ruling, Trump has shown that he does have a corrupt judge on his side. That gives him just about every single thing that he wants. And since now Trump is no longer required to prove the claims of planted documents in court, he will continue to openly lie and, most importantly, stall for time. Now, Cannon even set a new deadline for October 5th to finalize a document, review vendor, a step that Dearie had hoped would have only taken 1 or 2 days. Now he's got a few more extras, at least a week. But apparently, his history of not paying vendors, basically anyone else, according to their own filing, this is the Trump team saying this, we just couldn't find vendors that could deal with all this amount of paperwork that Trump had taken from Mar-a-Lago. Oh, so it means you took a lot of documents. Yes, 11,000 documents, specifically. So, yeah. Now, look, a quick note here, by the way, on paying people. A couple of days ago, I talked about this lawyer, Chris Kise. Chris Kise, unlike the other clowns on his legal team, happens to be a real accomplished lawyer. I don't agree with him. He's a massive conservative, but at least he's smart. And you could tell because before he even agreed to work with Trump, with the Trump team, he had to receive a cash advance of $3 million. No, you give me the money first and then I'll work for you. And by the way, he's no longer even on this case. They moved him off the case. Why? Again, going to how he actually might be way smarter than the clown shoes lawyers that he already has. Probably said, I'm not going to lie for you. I'm not going to put my license on the line. I'm not going to put my career on the line. I'm not going to, be in contempt of court. No, I'm not going to lie. Under oath. You want to lie, you can lie all the time you want. But I ain't gonna. All right. And so now apparently they figured out a way where they don't have to. The legal team doesn't have to lie on Trump's behalf. Thanks to Judge Cannon. That said, you have legal experts here who weighed in on this. This is Andrew Weissman, former DOJ prosecutor, that, Judge Cannon tinkers badly with, and with typos, Judge Dearie's scheduling order, relieving Trump of obligation to say whether docs were planted, even though she had wanted a clear inventory of what was found. She is such a disgrace. Can't help but agree with that. Justice reporter Mark Joseph Stern said, yesterday we were told that Trump's Mar-a-Lago lawsuit was a giant backfire because the special master refused to go along with Cannon's corrupt antics, but Cannon was shameless enough to overrule the special master because she is not a real judge. Cannon has, by the way, a lack of experience before being appointed to the bench. But I don't think experience really has anything to do with that. It's more of the fact that this appointment was, again, clearly because she was willing to do Donald Trump's dirty work, to defend him at all costs. That's the point. That's again, experience doesn't matter. How old you are, how many years at the bench, what your qualifications are. None of that matters at all to Donald Trump. The only thing that matters is, are you going to defend me? Are you going to give me the things that I want? Are you going to lie for me? Are you going to intervene on my behalf? And Judge Cannon said yes to all of those things. Again, giving him just about everything he wants. It's amazing. Now, another person, this is Loyola law professor Jessica Levinson, writing, it seems being slapped down herself by the 11th Circuit didn't make Judge Cannon any more circumspect. National security reporter Marcy Wheeler wrote, Holy hell, this woman has no shame. Cannon's basically jumping down on a scale that her special master is supposed to still own. It is hilarious, corrupt, shameless, and obvious. Former federal prosecutor Renato Mariotti wrote, "This is a minor win for Trump's team because now they don't have to essentially disavow their dubious claims that the FBI planted evidence. But this doesn't change the difficult position Trump is in. He still has to take a position regarding every seized document." And I think that's important. Because look, he still has to figure out how he's going to justify taking government documents that don't belong to him. He doesn't own these documents that he's in possession of. The whole point of the special master, again, is to delay, right? Oh, we got to go through the documents to see if there's anything that's protected by attorney-client privilege and any sort of privileged information. We have to make sure to protect Donald Trump so that that stuff does not get into the hands of the DOJ. Okay, well, those government documents, they didn't belong to Trump. They're not protected by attorney-client privilege. And so those documents, that's the heart of this matter. Documents taking the ones that he does not own, that do not belong to him, that belong to the United States government. Some of which, again, are national security related. That's the issue. Again, forget the classification stuff, which a lot of the stuff was classified. Trump says, no. You know what? I declassified them with my mind powers. Just by thinking about it, declassified. No, doesn't matter. They still weren't his. He still doesn't own them. And the last I checked, in this country at least, we have laws against taking things that don't belong to you.